Welcome to ADN Medicare Solutions and our Medicare Bootcamp session on what is the donut hole. There are 4 stages to coverage for Medicare Part D for prescription drugs, and the same 4 stages apply to the prescription drug component of Medicare Advantage plans. There is the deductible, the initial coverage, the coverage gap or the donut hole, and catastrophic coverage. Let's look at these in a little bit more detail. First, you have the deductible. This is the amount where you pay at 100% until it's covered and the coverage clicks in. Not all plans have a deductible, or the deductible is $0. This is true in many Medicare Advantage plans and in some Part D plans as well. So the deductible varies by plan. The standard deductible set by the federal government for 2022 is $480. Next, you have the initial coverage phase. This also varies by plan, and it's more of what you're used to when you think of prescription drug coverage. It's co-pays and co-insurances. The initial coverage begins at the end of the deductible. Now remember, some deductibles are $0, so sometimes the initial coverage begins at $0. Sometimes the initial coverage begins at $480. It depends on your plan. But it starts at the end of the deductible and ends at $4,430 in TROOP, or true out-of-pocket costs, set in 2022. We'll explain more in detail what TROOP is in just a few moments. Next comes, you guessed it, the donut hole. And the donut hole does not vary by plan. It is set by the federal government. It begins at the end of the initial coverage phase. In 2022, that is $4,430, and it goes up until $7,050, again in true out-of-pocket costs set in 2022. During the donut hole, you pay 25% of the total cost of all your prescriptions. When and if you get through the donut hole, you go into what's called catastrophic coverage. Also not varied by plan, also set by the federal government, is for all true out-of-pocket costs that go past the donut hole ceiling of $7,050. When you're in catastrophic coverage, you pay $395 for a generic or $985 for a brand name, or you pay 5% of the total cost of the prescription, whichever is greater. We do want to explain to you a little bit more about what TROOP, or true out-of-pocket cost, is and what it means to your Part D or Medicare Advantage plan with prescription drugs. TROOP is the full cost of prescription regardless of the coinsurance or the copay. For example, if you go to the pharmacy and you're given a prescription and the retail cost of that prescription is $60 and you have a $5 copay, it is $60 that goes towards TROOP. Now think of that. At $4,430, you enter the donut hole. Well, if you enter the donut hole $5 at a time, you won't get there very quickly. Most people won't get there at all. But you don't get there $5 at a time based on your copays. You get there based on the cost of the prescription itself. In this case, $60 goes towards that TROOP to get you towards the donut hole. In a similar way, though, TROOP gives you a break when you're in the donut hole. If the donut hole starts at $4,430 and ends at $7,050, and you are responsible for 25% of the donut hole, you want to get through that TROOP as quickly as possible. Let's look at what those numbers mean to you as well, though. $7,050 minus the $4,430 is $2,260. The width of the donut hole in 2022 is $2,620. You're responsible for 25% of that, or up to $650 if you go through the entire donut hole. And while 25% certainly is higher than a copay, it's not as bad as it sounds, because until recently, you would have been responsible for the entire $2,620 through the donut hole. The government has been narrowing the donut hole every year for several years. Let's talk about in the catastrophic phase what it means to pay $395 for a generic or $985 for a brand name, or 5%, again, whichever is more. Let's break down those numbers. For a generic, that means you'll pay $3.95 for any prescription with a price of under $79. And you'll pay 5% for any generic with a price over $79. Many, many, many generics, the vast majority of the generics are under $79. So for generics, you'll typically pay $3.95. It also means, though, that for brand names, you pay $9.85 for any prescription with a price under $197, and 5% for any price with a price of over $197. Well, there are very many brand names that have prices of over $197, so you want to be careful. And any chance that you have to replace a brand name with a generic, it's going to protect your troop through the initial coverage phase, then through the donut hole, and then finally it'll protect you for $3.95 versus potentially 5% when you're in the catastrophic coverage phase. Well, we hope this helped answer your questions about the donut hole. At adnmedicare.com, we have many more of these short bite-sized videos to help you. We have tools to help you decide to enroll in Medicare Advantage, in Part D, or Medicare Supplement. And we also have an app that will allow you to schedule an appointment to talk about your Medicare needs with one of our highly trained consultants. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to seeing you on another adventure through our Medicare Bootcamp.